With us. The milk dispute between Russia and Belarus may be over, with exports fully resumed. But now a new disagreement is on the horizon. Moscow says Minsk owes some $231 million for gas it's used since the start of the year. Well, for a closer look at what's been disrupting relations between the neighbouring states, I'm now joined live by our correspondent Natalia Kokhlova, who's at Russia's border with Belarus. Natalia, a dairy dispute has been spoiling relations between Russia and Belarus for several days now. Tell us, how did it get resolved?
Well, Bill, today Russia has finally lifted its ban on imports of Belarusian dairy products. The first deliveries have already started crossing the border this morning. I'd like to remind that that Russia imposed a ban on dairy products on one of key Belarusian exports, so with milk. Around 1,000 types of dairy products were banned from the Russian market after Russia's state consumer watchdog declared that they failed to comply with new technical regulations. Russia introduced new technical standards on packaging and labeling for dairy products in December, and Belarus had failed to comply with them. I'd like to say that Russia accounts for more than 90% of Belarusian exports of dairy products worth $1 billion a year. Minsk accused Moscow of using the so-called milk ban as a political tool and boycotted a summit of the Collective Security Treaty Organization, despite the fact that Belarus was meant to take over the presidency in this organization. And this is what Russian Foreign Ministry's spokesman had to say about that.
The real reason for the non-participation of our Belarus partners in the CSTO summit, and they admit it too, was the problem of the supply of dairy products from Belarus to Russia. In their opinion, it was purely a technical issue. Today we see the first results of the negotiations. This problem has been solved successfully.
Following the so-called milk war, Belarus toughened control along the frontier despite the Russian-Belarusian customs and border union. But it backed down shortly after Russian and Belarusian health and agriculture officials have finally reached a compromise. Russia will buy powdered milk from its own farmers. And at the same time increase imports of other Belarusian dairy products.
Okay, Natalia, so as you say, that the dairy dispute seems to be now over, but of course this disagreement has now moved to gas. Can you tell us a little bit more about this, the gas dispute?
Well, indeed, today Gazprom has demanded that a Belarusian state-owned company, Beltransgaz, pays off its $230 million debt for gas supplies. This debt accumulated due to the fact that Belarus is paying a so-called average annual price of $100 per 1,000 cubic meters. This price differs with the contract price of $250 per 1,000 cubic meters. But so far there's been no comments from neither side. But Gazprom has already set the deadline for Belarus to settle the debt by the 23rd of June. Bill.
Natalia, thanks very much indeed for that update. That's Natalia Kokhlova from the Russian-Belarusian border.